how's the booth been today?
It's been excellent. It's been a great turnout. The holiday actually turned out to be a great event for the Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was really crowded over here earlier.
Oh yeah, it was a great turnout, and I was a little worried just because it's the Easter holiday.
Right.
You'd expect that maybe not as many people would be coming out, but
Yeah.
it doesn't stop us geeks and nerds, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sunday's always buying day,
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to, talk to you a little bit about your work. Now, you're a freelance artist.
Correct.
Tell me about that. What are some advantages, disadvantages?
Advantages and disadvantages of the freelance life. The great thing is that you get to do all kinds of projects and you get to meet all kinds of creators that maybe you wouldn't have had the advantage of had you been working exclusively for someone.
Sure.
And that makes for a lot of fun kind of collaborations, and you can kind of learn all kinds of new ways of doing a story or even storytelling through your art, so that's a great thing. Disadvantages is that sometimes you'll kind of run across situations that aren't as readily available as you'd expected or as advertised, and sometimes that can run a little bit longer, or you end up not working on something completely. So it can kind of be a toss-up. Sometimes it's a good, sometimes it's a bad.
Right, absolutely. Well, and tell me a little bit about what it's like to work with independent publishers versus mainstream publishers.
Well, with the independent publishers, I've found my experiences have been that for a lot of things, they're a little bit more open to how to promote their project or their concept, and there's a little bit more of a collaborative effort to kind of get the word out on whatever it is you may be working on. And as opposed to some of the bigger publishers, these guys have had years of experiences or experience working or selling their concepts, and they have a lot more knowledge on what works and what doesn't work. So in a lot of ways, they're a little bit more protective of their properties, and they want to make sure that it's displayed in a way that they approve of. So.
Sure, yeah, to be well represented. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hear that you've done a lot of work with Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've actually worked on a couple of cool Kickstarter projects. I was working on Liberator with Matt Miner for a minute, and guy's he's a great guy. He's the animal activist, and he does a lot of dog rescues. So he had a concept to create this superhero, and I thought it was a very unique process, a unique character. Unfortunately, we had kind of creative differences as to what we thought it could go in as far as direction-wise. But I respect the guy immensely and what he's trying to do, so that's kind of cool. It didn't quite work out as planned, but I totally respect what he's doing, and I understand how he's doing things. And I'm also working on another Kickstarter at the moment, which is called Warhawks.
Okay.
And Warhawks is a great concept created by a guy named Jason Coffey. Jason passed away in 2008, unfortunately, and he was just on his way to kind of building on to better things. He was known for reading scripts for James Cameron, and he was working behind the scenes at a couple other production places. And his friends, who were also in film and television, decided that they wanted to try and keep his vision alive. So they put this Kickstarter together, and they kind of hit me up to help bring Jason's vision to life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
very cool, very cool.
Cool. Yeah. I've heard of lots of people doing different Kickstarters, and I know it's a whole kind of world, the whole Kickstarter world. So
yeah, it definitely is. The advantages and disadvantages of Kickstarter is that it's kind of like the Wild West. It's an opportunity where maybe not such a famous creator or artist will want to try their hand at creating their properties or getting the word out,
Sure.
and not everybody's always ready for it, and
Right.
so it could be kind of interesting. And for other people, it's a great advantage to kind of get the word out and get your book out if you know how to do it and you're a little bit more diligent with your project. So it's a great opportunity, and it's always left up to the creator or artist and how they choose to handle it.
Yeah. So I guess just to wrap this up, what are you currently working on, and what are we going to see in the future for you?
Well, currently, as I mentioned earlier, I'm working on Jason Coffey's Warhawks, so
Right.
please check that out on Kickstarter. Spread the word and support if you can. I'm also working on an Australian webcomic called Attica, and that is for Beyond Reality Media. And on my Twitter feed, I post the new pages. We put a new page up every week, so I always make sure to post a link every week when it goes up.
Right.
So be sure to check that out.
Yeah.
I also do sketch cards for Upper Deck, which is a lot of fun. And I'm always up at the cons as well. So.
Right. Yeah. Anything exciting in the future?
I've got a couple, like I said, I'm doing the weekly webcomic. I've got the Kickstarter thing, but I also do a lot of licensing and product art for some other companies, and we'll see. So there's some interesting things coming down the pipe.
Cool, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk
Thanks
with us.
for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks so much. Take care, guys.